let me love you.
Hey, this is Midnight here, and today I'm doing a video for the new F4 Thailand um, show that just came out last year. And so I just want to quickly say that I didn't think I was going to get into this show since this is obviously a new iteration to the Hanayori Dango series. And well, let me rephrase that. I was going to do it because obviously I love, you know, I like all the iterations except for the Korean version. So of course I had to do this because obviously the whole Hanayori Dango thing is obviously a complete nostalgia to me. So I just definitely like, who would I be if I didn't do it? Um but anyway, I also definitely will also be doing a recap and stuff like that. And before I also get into the video, I just want to wish everybody happy New Year's because I was MIA for like maybe a couple months or so. I don't really know, but I was just MIA. So I was like, you know what? Let me hurry up and get some content out and stuff like that because, but again, this is what I've been following as of recently. So I was like, you know what? Let me just hurry up and just get something out, but also you know, good. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is characters. Now, our female lead is Gorya, and I just listed down like some points about the characters. Gorya is a strong female lead. She values friendship between the F4 members. She's independent and she stands up for what is right. Now, here's the thing. What I like about Gorya's character is that they stayed true to her character because obviously, one thing I really did not like about the Korean version is the fact that Jondi's character was nothing like what she had claimed to be, which was a strong female lead. And that's something that really kind of like hurt me because I just felt like that was what made the female lead like amazing. It's the fact that she was a strong female lead. And we don't really get to see these things a lot in drama land. So I was just like, like it was just heartbreaking for me to like see that Jondi was not a strong female lead by any means. The second thing that also made me mad in the Korean version is the fact that Jondi was not independent. She was very dependent on the F4 members when she got into sticky situations, and stuff like that. So it's really nice to see in the Thailand version that, of course, she's independent. And then also Gorya standing up for what is right. And I just feel like, of course, this is what makes our female lead like bomb. If you have watched, of course, the original and probably even the other iterations that stay true to the original. Um, but this is what makes the story. Okay, this is just what it does. Um, so I really like that. I really like the fact that here again they just like make her character what it's supposed to be instead of like dumbing down her character. So I appreciate it. The male lead is Thyme. Now with Thyme's character, I'm not going to be focusing on the fact that okay, like he's a jerk at first and all of this stuff because him being a jerk is just a facade. It's just an image that he's with upholding because of course his mom and his him just being of course rich and coming from a prestigious family. So I'm not going to talk about it. And also I would just like to say that when it comes down to the Korean version and a lot of the discussion that I've seen is that a lot of people fail to realize that if you have like that the Korean version is not the original version. And I don't like it when people compare or even talk about the male lead because, of course, again, people must understand that him being a jerk is just a facade, it's just an image. That's not how he actually acts. Again, it's just because he comes from a prestigious family and there's this pressure that he has to uphold because he comes from a prestigious family. That's all. But going into Thyme's character, he's selfless, self critical, redeemable qualities, and very comical. Now, here's the thing. One thing I liked about Thyme's character, which is completely different than the other iterations, is the fact that, again, like he's self critical, meaning he understands and he knows within himself that he's a jerk. Like, there's no delusion, there's no anything. Like, he understands these things, like, nothing. Um, and then of course comical, meaning this show is not all serious. It's really not all serious. Like, it's like he adds the funniness to it. Like, I love it. um Now, we have Ren. I'm not going to really talk much about Ren's character simply because there's some things I really do want to discuss with his character that is seemingly different than the other iterations. So what I'm going to say for Ren is that he's mysterious, passive aggressive, and soft. um Gavin and MJ, I have to give the writer a complete, just utter, like praise for Gavin and MJ's character, because Gavin, of course, they're both playboys. Like, Gavin and MJ are both playboys, but Gavin is more of like a pretty boy, while MJ is like the complete opposite. He's more of like a bad boy. So I like it. And then another thing I have to give the writers a complete, utter, like, praise for is just the fact that they paid so much attention to detail. The fact that all of them are heirs to different things. Like, Thyme is a heir to what, a real estate company, I believe. Ren is a heir to the number one healthcare system in Thailand. Gavin is, of course, heirs to government officials. And then MJ, the way Gorya, because I was kind of confused with this, but Gorya, the way she kind of like described him is that he's adhered to what, a mafia, I believe, or something like that. So I just like the fact that all of them are heirs to something, and it's like all of this is incorporated within obviously their wardrobe, their outfits, and how they portray themselves. So Ren is very relaxed because, of course, his parents owns the number one healthcare center. So because of that, it also goes into his wardrobe and stuff like that. Gavin, because he's, of course, adhere to government officials, people describe him as being per se royalty and stuff like that. Um, and then MJ being, the hair of a mafia, he wears a lot of, like, leather and stuff like that. So all of this makes sense. Now, the last person I really do want to talk about is Kahani, and I had to add her in here because I love what they did with her character. The fact that in the other iterations, her character doesn't really have much personality. She's so dependent on the female lead a lot of the time. So it was really nice that they made her her own person and they did add personality to her. The fact that she is just as strong as the female lead, if not probably stronger. And the fact that she does defend Gorya and stuff like that. She will never per se double cross her, and she just supports her. She supports every decision that she makes. And she's there to support her. So I really liked it that. Um and then the second thing I did want to talk about is obviously the plot. I like the pacing of it. The pacing does follow the 2005 Japanese version, so I like that cuz it makes me understand a lot of it. And then also there's no filler, so I completely love it. And when it comes down to the filler, I just felt like it was okay for like the 2001 Meteor Gardens and also the 2005 Japanese iterations to have filler, but then I felt like everything up to that point, like the Korean version, the 2018 Chinese remake, and everything below that, I feel like they should have not added any filler in. They should have just got to the point, because at this point everybody should already know what Hana Yori Dang, like what the premise is with Hana Yori Dang. Everybody should have known that by now. Um The second thing I liked is the authenticity to the original. Like, I love it. I know what I'm watching. So again, love it. The theme. Now, the theme is what's important to me. The fact that Honey, as somebody who has watched all the iterations and stuff like that, I just feel like the theme, the overall message is really what's important because as again, as somebody who's watched the original, I mean, yeah, and all the other iterations, it's like Hanayori Dango is not just some cliche type drama, anime, manga, whatever you want to call it. It's not. Like this, like there's an overall message that comes out of this. So, yes. And then another thing I liked about the plot was that the adding of cultural quotes and sayings and stuff like that. As somebody who is not Thai, I appreciate the fact that in every country, there's something that you can learn about their culture. So I appreciate that they're adding their own little cultural flair, and stuff like that. I've, even adapted some of the sayings, the little Thai sayings. So I really appreciate it. The last thing I like about the plot is obviously the production. Even like Hanayori Dango is so old, like it's such an old manga slash anime. And so I'm so glad that as the years go by, it just keeps on getting modern and modern and modern. So I just love the production. I love everything about it. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is obviously the criticism that this drama has gotten or is currently getting, and that is the pacing. Now, again, there has from my acknowledgement or whatever, there I've noticed that not many people have either read or watched the anime slash manga, and most people have not watched the 2005 Japanese iteration. And this is a problem because, again, this is going by the 2005 Japanese version, the pacing that is. And again, the lack of adding in fillers, which also, again, I appreciate. So, again, if you've not watched either the anime, manga, or the 2005 version, or even the 2001 Meteor Garden, since I feel like those two were done pretty well, in my opinion, and is an absolutely good portrayal of the original, then I think that you're going to have to stop and you're going to have to go back and you're going to have to either watch or read the manga, anime, or earlier iterations, please, because you're just going to be confused. And that's all I'm going to say. The scheduling, again, I had an issue with this, but then when I really thought about it, I was like, I don't think I have really much of a problem with it. This show is 16 episodes overall. We get one episode per week, and it's an hour and like what, 30 minutes, if I believe. And so I now understand why it's that way. It's simply because, of course, you know, you do want people to come back and, of course, soak up the content and just kind of like, like really kind of like think about what they watched. Then also on top of that, you do want people to be hyped to watch the next episode. So you don't really want to bombard them with material. So that's another thing I thought about. So overall, I don't really have a problem with the schedule because it makes sense. Um, Last but not least, the acting. A lot of people complained about Bright's acting, which again, if you watch the other iterations and also the original, you would know that Thyme's character, he lacks experience. Like it was his first kiss, and he's not used to certain things because obviously his mom neglects him, so he's just not used to a lot of things. So that's why most of the time Bright portrays Thyme as being confused in a lot of moments, and I completely give him that. I praise him for that because again, Thyme's character, he does not really understand. Doesn't have he has little to no experience with certain things. And plus, of course, it being his first kiss, and of course, his first time actually pursuing an actual girl that he likes. So it makes sense. And then of course, like the fact that Bright, I really want him to get more exposure, even though again, unlike the others, um, this is not his first show. I mean, neither is it for Win, but I feel like Win just did a BL along with Bright not too long ago, what, last year or the year before that, or even the year before that. So again, like, I just want him to get more exposure. Now, when it comes to Win, Nani, and Do, and even Two as well, these are all their first. This is their first show. This is their first little, gig. So again, everybody just needs to kind of like get more exposure and just, get into their acting skills and stuff like that. So anyway, so again, I will be posting recaps on this show and stuff like that. Um and just getting into the groove of things and stuff like that since I was MIA. So again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please do subscribe and please hit that bell notification for more uploads. Bye.